Good morning folks, welcome to the W Osprey project. Out of season, as you can see. Today is the 8th of February and I'm on the car park, and as you can see those are the Portakabins which have served us so well for the last 10 years as a visitor centre and a volunteer cabin. So I'm going to try today to show you a bit of a virtual walkthrough of the building as it stands right now. So I'm just walking through the car park now. Sorry, it's a bit squelchy here. We started here just over 4 months ago. I'm sorry about the wind noise, it'll get better hopefully once we're inside. And Gareth Jones and his construction company have done an amazing job to get us to where we are in just 4 months time. So we started in the second week of September, so exactly 4 months on, plus Christmas of course, so it's 3.5 months really. We've gone from those Portakabins over there to this, the new W Wildlife Centre. So what I'll try and do is have a brief walk around the building, show you what's what, and then see what you think. Right, I'm going to try and do all this in one take. First of all, some apologies. I've got a nasty cold, so please excuse breathing difficulties and breathing sounds. Okay, so first of all, when we enter the building, you can see there's a thoroughfare running through the building all the way to the end there. That's 25 metres away. That's about 80 feet in old money. And as you walk in, there's a door there that goes upstairs. That's to the volunteer room. And here will be our main reception desk. It's not been built yet. And on the wall behind the reception area, there'll be 2 volunteers sat here. There will be a TV, some interpretation, and the Grand Champion wall. If you don't know what the Grand Champion is, I will show you in a second. So this here is the duty manager room, so there'll be somebody here all the time while we're open, usually Janine, basically in charge of the whole centre. So let's jump over some wood. So here's the duty manager room, desk there. So all the Osprey cameras, all the telephone lines coming in, all the camera controls, the video, the audio will all be done from this room. And as you can see, Andy, our IT expert, has wired us all in, ready for absolutely everything. And we've doubled up on everything, so if something fails, then we have a backup system. Nice big window here to the car park, so we can see who's coming in, so we can either hide or say hello. So this is a mock-up of the Grand Champion wall. Those people will have a reclaimed, sanded down oak parquet flooring block with their name on for perpetuity behind the reception desk. If you want to know more about that, have a look on our website, the Grand Champion. Okay, another apology, it's a bit dark in here. Everything's switched off, obviously it's the weekend, it's early Saturday morning. I'm trying to do this early because there's a big storm coming in from the Atlantic this afternoon. Okay, this now is really dark in here, but I'll try and show you anyway. So this is the piece de resistance of the whole centre in my view. So it's dim in here on purpose because we do not want the reflections coming off TV screens and touch screens and the like. Now those holes you can see in the wall there, we're going to have 4K TV screens there excuse me, displaying 4 Osprey's cameras, 4 out of 6. So Janine, who should be next door in there, will be able to decide which of the 4 are the best to be able to put on the screens at any one time in real time using something called a digital matrix. Okay, in the middle here we're going to have our 86-inch touch screen. I'll do a little short story about that again, I think. And then on the end of the wall here there will be a 77-inch OLED 4K TV screen, and that will show the recordings of the Ospreys of that season. So anybody coming in late, June, July, August, September, will quickly be able to get them up to speed by showing them some of the highlights that we do every year on that screen there. See if I can squeeze through here. Okay, so we're back to the reception area again. Here there will be a shop area. So all the usual stuff that you can buy in our shop, but we're currently advertising for a retail officer, so we now need somebody a little bit more with a bit more expertise than us, a bit more professional, so we can do a better job of our shop and sales. So expect 3 things here really: branded stuff, all the things with Ospreys on, mugs, key rings, plates, all that kind of stuff. There will be some Welsh themed stuff in here, and some food and drink as well. Okay, so as we go through the centre, this is our kitchen area. So in the next couple of weeks, our new catering manager, that's another short story coming up, will be tasked to develop and fit, design rather, a commercial kitchen with myself in here. And we walk through here and we have a servery area. Let me just jump out the servery area. So usual thing, coffees, teas, snacks. Now it's important to understand, I guess, that the cafe, the cafe is called Cafe Ty Meinan. I'll explain about that in another video. But we'll be selling Welsh themed products here. So Welsh recipes, lobscows, cawl, bara brith, all that kind of good stuff. It'll be health based rather than your chicken nuggets and your chips and egg, that kind of stuff. And we will get our ingredients from locally sourced farmers and small suppliers. So it'll be homemade in the kitchen, wholesome nutritional foods cooked on the premises. Now this installation's in the way, but here we have a wildlife watching window. I have to confess, I nicked this idea from Scottish Wildlife Trust. Every time I go to their Osprey Centre there in Loch of the Lows, I'm taken aback by their wildlife watching window. It is such a nice thing to do. Now we've started doing some habitat management out there. So that's the Dovey over there, the river. And we'll do some habitat management here to attract small birds, small mammals, that kind of thing. So people and children can sit down here and look out the window. Okay, on the wall here we are going to have a big map of Wales, and on the big map of Wales we will be labeling where all our food and all our stuff comes from, so you can actually see the food miles travelled. It's going to be very short, hopefully. Okay, towards the reserve side of the building. Now, here's another short story. This bit here is called the Cwtch Brethyn. Brethyn means tweed in Welsh. Cwtch is snug, I guess. Tweed snug. And my colleague Kim has been hard at work working with John Hughes. Some of you might know him on the chat. He used to run the Lerry Mills in the 50s and the 60s, just down the road from here, with a big water wheel that they use to provide energy, electricity, to turn the looms and everything that they have. So it's going to be really nice there. It's going to be textile themed and Osprey themed, and a bit of a nice view of the reserve when you sit down in the Cwtch Brethyn. There'll be a glass sliding door here. They'll be arriving in a couple of weeks. Right, you see these pews on here, and panelling, health and safety. So these are the amazing looking pews that we got from our friend Wayne in Capel Salem in Corris. I think short story 10, the one just before this, I guess, if you want to read up about that. And an amazing guy called John Felix, who left his mark quite literally by signing a piece of paper and putting it underneath the floorboards that we unearthed 125 years later. Short story 10 for that one, but we will be... A local carpenter will be designing with us what to do with these, and we will, as sympathetically as possible, keep them in their current aspect ratio, if you like, the format. And in this part of the centre, we're going to build some I was going to say pews then, and they are pews. We're going to build booths, so they will look like pews, but they will be in the style of booths, if you know what I mean, like an American diner type booth. So we're going to have one here, one here. We're not going to have enough room for 3. I've been measuring this out this week, but the area's too big for 3. I think we're going to have 2.5, so there'll be a half a booth here. So what that will look like is I'll be able to sit down here, table there, and look out over the reserve. There we go. So that's only some of the wood, by the way. One of those porter cabins that you saw earlier is full of pews and pitch pine panelling and what have you. Okay, the last few bits on the downstairs. So these are the toilet areas. So all these toilets are slightly bigger than the minimal regs that we need to adhere to. So we've got what's called an ambulance toilet here. Same again there. And a nice big disabled toilet there. Nice window looking out. So here's the plant room. So all the wiring will be going on fuse boards and all sorts of things I don't understand in here. And then in here, based on consultation, I won't name any names, but 2 or 3 people said we really need to design a changing places toilet into the building. Changing places toilet is a larger toilet, much larger toilet than normal, for severely disabled people that need help. They are extremely restricted in where they can go for a day out. Particularly in Wales, there's only one public changing places toilet in the whole of mid Wales. Very soon there will be 2. So this toilet will have obviously all the usual stuff you find in the toilet, but they will have a table to lie on, a shower, a hoist, specifically for those people that need them. Okay, talking of disabilities, so this hole in the ground here, it is square-ish. In that square we will have a wheelchair lift, a disabled lift that goes to the first floor. That's being installed February 26th, which is what, less than 3 weeks away, isn't it? My maths is correct. Okay, I'm going to try and go upstairs here now. Now obviously we've got temporary stairs in, metal stairs. Those of you that have been following the blogs and everything, this is where we will have the Mary Evans staircase. Now the Mary Evans was the largest ship ever built on the Dovey, right on the banks of the Dovey River, just a few meters that way, probably less than a mile that way. A 258 ton clipper, or a bark, built by a guy called John Evans, who lived literally a stone throw away, and he named this ship after his wife, Mary Evans. And we're going to recreate the form, the shape of that ship, using oak and reclaimed timber. And some of you might have seen the model that our carpenter Carwyn, local lad from Borth, has done, and he's busy constructing this Mary Evans staircase right now, and we should have that ready sometime in April. Okay, so see if I can get up the stairs without falling over. Okay, so this is the gallery area. So big, vast area, and here we'll be doing basically anything that we can get 100 people in. So this is a community area to do talks, learning, anything really, yoga, concerts, osprey workshops. That area there is the art corner, so people that either donate or want to exhibit their art can do so there on a rotation basis. These doors rather, not in yet. There's a massive big door going in there. We have to get it specially made, and that's going to be a sliding door leading to a balcony. See the balcony there? I'll try and go outside in a minute. And that's the view you can see, or you will be able to see from the balcony. You see the observatory over there? Sorry if this footage is a bit jerky. I'm using just a normal mirrorless camera here with no gimbal or anything, no stabilization. Okay, so on this wall, well, let me start over here first. So on this, so as you come up the Mary Evans staircase there, the disabled lift, wheelchair lift is coming up there. Now on this wall, which is around 8.5 meters long, we're going to have interpretation. When I talk about interpretation, I mean information panels, basically, in old-fashioned speak. And we're going to have 6 panels on here. The whole theme The thread going through all the stuff that we're doing here, apart from Ospreys, is the Dovey River. So we're going to have various themes of the river, historical themes, heritage themes, going back to Romans, pre-Roman times, industrial times, shipping, peat bog, ecology, all that kind of stuff. And then on this wall we're going to have more of the same, but we're going to be more specific. So for 1 month of every year, one of those key themes will be expanded into more panels and digital displays and touchscreen displays. We're doing the software for those right now, and that's going to be really cool up here, particularly for kids, some people that want to learn about the area, ospreys, wildlife, ecology, history, heritage. Really cool. The roof looks like a bit like a supermarket superstore at the moment. We are going to clad that with this stuff, which is cedar from Esgairgeiliog forest, literally up the road, 2.5–3 miles up the road. So that's how far that has come. It's going to look really nice. Okay, I'm going to watch it don't fall over here. In here is the wildlife cinema. So we're going to try and get some old cinema seats from the 30s, 40s, 50s. If you know anybody with old cinema style seats, please let me know. And we're going to have on the wall there a big screen, cinema like, with a surround sound system. And as we make 4K, 6K, 8K movies of various aspects of our work, mostly wildlife based and osprey based, we'll be able to show them on that wall there. Let's talk about time frames. Obviously everything will not be ready by April. This is a 2-year project really, so the project finishes June next year. But I'll show you a nice view while I'm talking. So yeah, time frames. So we hope to open sometime in April. As you can see, everything will not be open. This upstairs, for example, will probably not be open till May, but we're doing our best. The intention was never to finish everything but in 7 months. That would be ridiculous. But to have a building built on a peat bog in 7 months, at least on the ground floor, to be open, I think we're doing pretty well. So if you are one of the early people that come, not everything will be ready, but you will see most stuff downstairs. But things like up here will not be ready for a few weeks. The wildlife cinema won't be ready for a couple of months probably, but we will get there. Now, penny floor. The penny floor is going to go in here. So that's another short story, but so far hundreds of you have donated 34,000 coins, pre-decimal British coins, and we're going to put those on the floor there. We're going to tessellate them, it's a new word for me, and do a mosaic of the Dovey River. So it's going to be roughly 3 meters, 10 foot wide by about 10 meters long. That's a 2 or 3 month project, so we're going to start that in the autumn, October, November. If you do have any coins, by the way, bring them with you. We need about 46,000, I think. So we're what, 2/3 of the way there. Okay. So there will be a double door here, and that leads to the classroom area. So nice long 12-meter classroom to do, well, obviously to be in what you expect a classroom to be, but also to do talks, small community events, practical work, crafts, arts, poetry, research, anything really where you can get 20-25 people in one room comfortably. Now up here we have the staff room, and so remember those stairs, if you're still watching this video. Whoop, I showed you right at the start, so those stairs come up here, and this is the volunteer room. And believe me, after being in a porter cabin for 10 years, these volunteers can't wait to get into into this room. They can have a little kitchenette in there, a little microwave, kettle, all that kind of good stuff. Nice seating area there. Windows to the left, to the right, and a big window looking out. Okay, I'm going to try and go outside now, so we'll see how that works. It's very windy today, there's a big storm coming later today, but we'll see what we can do. See you in a bit. Okay, so we're outside now. So another apology coming up. It's a bit windy today, so please excuse any wind noise. I've got a wind muffler on the old mic here, but we'll see how that works. This is the south side of the building, and as you can see, this lovely cedar, we've cladded the whole centre with a cedar. Just walk down here. So this is Cors Dyfi Reserve. Cors means bog, so it's Dyfi Bog. And every year we have water buffalo in here to try and graze some of the willow and other brush coming up, because we want to maintain Cors Dyfi as a lowland peat bog. What happens when you have trees and willow and stuff is the root systems dry out the soil, and then if we're not careful, after a few years you've ruined a peat bog into a dry grassland basically. Okay, so again, apologies for the wind noise if you can hear it. So this is the balcony area. I have to be careful here. So I just want to show you the view if I can. So remember I spoke about those big windows, so doors rather, so the doors are going to go there. They're extra wide to allow for wheelchair access. And here on the balcony, so there's your view from the balcony. There you go. So got RSPB and it's here down there, Abu Dhabi down there, Dyfi Junction you may possibly see on the video, the observatory, what is it, there. Now what's happening here, let's put wide angle again, we're putting a heating system in called a ground source heat pump. It is the most environmental friendly way anybody can heat a building or a house. It basically works by putting pipes into the ground, and then they go about 1.5 meters in, and then because it's peat particularly, the temperature in the ground is a lot higher than it is above ground. So the ground, the peat, will heat organically, naturally, the water that we pump in there in the pipes, and when it comes back out again we just apply a little bit more energy that will generate on the roof. I'll show you the roof in a second, and that will heat the whole centre using a ground source heat pump. For those technically minded, we estimate we can have a COP of about 5.5. COP is certificates of performance, I think it stands for. And the 5.5 bit basically means that for every unit of energy you put in, we get 5.5 out, which sounds like nuclear fission, doesn't it? It's a bit like magic, but that's how it works. So it will cost us just a fifth of what it would cost normally to heat the building. But it's not even going to cost us that, because that fifth of electricity we will be producing ourselves on the roof. Okay, so this is the toilet area, the toilet block, and the wildlife cinema I showed you before. Here's that lovely cedar. This will silver off over the years, just like the observatory did, so it's not going to look new like this. We're not going to put preservatives or anything like that on there. We don't want to put chemicals anywhere. So the natural sap in the wood will preserve it, but it will change colour. And some blue tits flying around, if you can hear some birds. Oh, so those lovely windows that we were in before. Now I'm going to try and take you up the ladder now to the top bit. Excuse the shakiness. So we'll walk around the building again. This scaffolding is going to come down in a couple of weeks' time, probably mid-February, maybe the 20th of February, something like that. And then we are going to use, hopefully, some of the scaffold boards, these here, to make some projects downstairs. So maybe make the servery out of these, or part of the servery, or some of the wall panelling, or maybe the reception desk. We'll see. Okay, here's the lovely roof that our friend Duncan and his colleagues did. So these are reclaimed Welsh slates from Penrhyn Quarry. So they're second hand to us. Well, they're 500 million years old, but they are 70, 60 years old from the ground originally, but they're new to us. So there is an example, see if I can get this to focus, of the slate appeal that we did recently. I think 175 people, I think, in all participated in the slate appeal, which raised just over £10,000, so it's an amazing effort. Thank you all very much for that. It's a bit treacherous up here. Let me just try and walk around safely and not talk. Okay, so on the sides of the building here, next week we'll be putting some Swift boxes up. Swifts are a big hirundine, a migratory bird that goes to Africa, for those of you which are not familiar with them, and they've been in massive decline in the UK over the last few decades, so they need all the help they can get. We're going to put 6 Swift boxes up here, and we're also going to wire into them Swift calls. That's the best way to attract the Swift. So we've been wiring the building up to include some speaker cable to go in. The speakers are actually in the boxes themselves, so you get much more success with a Swift box if you also have the Swift recordings, the Swift recordings as well. This is the last ladder I'm going to go up today, hopefully. Oh, I don't like ladders. Okay, sorry about the sun. So this is as high as we can get. So we're on top of the world here. You can see all the slates are in. I think Duncan's got a couple more right on the very edge that and we didn't quite get right the first time round. So this is the very, very top. This is the eaves of the building. Here we have the solar panels, obviously facing south to the sun. It's a 40 kilowatt solar panel array there, which will produce approximately 8 times more electricity than we need, and we'll do 3 things with that electricity. We'll use it ourselves, obviously. What we don't use we'll be storing up in batteries, so we can use that when the sun doesn't shine. And then the last bit is we'll feed it back to the grid. Right, I'm going to come back off the roof now, and we'll do a closing bit downstairs where there's no wind and it's a bit safer. So there we go, finally made it back to the safety of the lower floor. So just a couple of thank yous. Thank you for watching this far if you've not fallen asleep. A big thank you to Gareth Jones for doing an amazing job in what, four months is it? We're going to be opening in April. Now you can see, obviously a lot of people are asking me, well, give me a date, I want to know, I want to go on holiday. Clearly you can see why we can't stamp down a date, because, you know, if I say a date in April and we're not quite finished, it's going to ruin a lot of people's week. So I'm hoping for early April, but we will see. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing. We're going to have a really nice decking area here once those scaffolding boards have gone. So on a really nice day, which is most days in Wales, you'll be able to exit through those really nice doors, which are arriving in at the end of this month, I think, and sit on the decking area there, just by the reserve, with the observatory overhead. And Monty and Tellin et al. Frequently fly over here, as regular visitors know, so what better way to have a bit of coffee and a bit of bara breath, bring some friends along, maybe even in the Cwtch Brechin, and enjoy a nice peaceful weekend with Montgomeryshire Wildlife Trust at the W Osprey project and the new W Wildlife Centre. Diolch yn fawr, thank you very much to you all.